What were the main takeaways from that evaluation? I know that
Uh,
you had an evaluation that was focused on school programs, on the Pennsylvania Resilience Program, and on the Sumo programs.
yeah,
I think you've done some evaluation also on the community side of
we have.
things as well.
Yeah, yeah.
What have we learned? What are the main takeaways that have come from those two?
We had two phases of evaluation, really. One was the qualitative evaluation, where we looked at the pen and the sumo in schools, and also the community programs. And the other bit was where we looked at more validated measures of whether resilience had increased in the second part. But with the pen and the sumo, what we found was quite surprising in that it did things we didn't expect it to do. So it gave a shared language between teachers and students, and the students were actually saying that because they were talking about issues that were important to them, they managed to sort of change the way they looked at themselves. So they changed their identity. So we had quite a lot of quotes around people saying that I don't want to be like I am now. I want to be more engaged. I get on better with my teachers now since I've done the program. So I think it gave the teachers and the students who maybe are struggling at school a shared language and a way of talking to each other that made them get closer together so that people could actually perform better in school. Whether the effects are long lasting is something we need to look at in the next phase of the evaluation. But it was very positive around sumo and around pen.
What's your sense of how those evaluations then contributed to the bid itself? So the bid that went in February, the bid that we now obviously know has been successful.
It showed that they were well received by schools, and they were effective in schools in changing people's behaviour, which is the purpose of the program, but also giving teachers a way of talking to their students about things that lie behind the maths and English of the everyday world. So I think that it gave the bid quite a lot of strength, because the things that you'd been doing for 2 years were tested and evaluated independently. And we were actually quite surprised by the results of the evaluation as a research team, because we thought there's something happening here. We're not really sure that we can prove what is happening, but that will be in the coming phases. And that's why we started using different measures of well-being and resilience in the current phase that we're testing out at the moment, and we've just got the results in for those, and they're really interesting as well.
So how will the evaluation now change as we move over the next 5 years? How's the evaluation going to be integrated, and what happens? Obviously, it's very important. We're doing all these different pieces of work, and we need to rigorously test or try and assess what works versus what doesn't work. How will it be now different now that we're into this next phase?
Well, there's several crucial things. It's going to be a lot bigger. It's a multi-level evaluation, so there's all sorts of things. Because the program's bigger and expanded, there are more things to evaluate. But our job really is to try and make that as easy and as simple as possible, so we don't put a burden on the people that are actually in the program. There's also the national evaluation as well to configure into that. But the key things that we feel as a university are that there's something around data linkage. So we have to get a profile, if you like, of everybody taking part in the program, so that we know which interventions they've had and where. So then we can make some sensible evaluations of what's changed in their lives and what's happening to the children and also the systems, the schools. So are they changing? Are they becoming more aware of mental health as an everyday issue, as something that's as important as physical health? So there are lots of things to do. And the thing about HeadStart is there's a variety of programs. It could be from a community-based program on boys putting bikes together, or girls doing a similar thing, which can have an effect on people's agency and self-efficacy. So our challenge is to find something that's able to capture that. The other really exciting strand that we find is the fact that we're big fans of participative research. So we'd like people that are undergoing the programs to actually be part of the research team. And so we're very interested in using video diaries and people keeping a record of what they're doing, and also the work in the communities as well, because without the communities, if we just stick only on schools without community, we're only doing half the job. And it's also, part of our mission at the university is to work within our context around social innovation. So for us, it's a perfect project really for us to apply a lot of our variety of skills within the university.
It's very, very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's so much to think about.
It's just such a great thing for the city, I think, and the university is obviously part of the city, and for us to get closer together with the council and with the kids is just, it's just a fantastic opportunity, really.
I think that's a good place to finish, Karl. Thank you so much for speaking to me today. Obviously, we greatly value the input of the university, both in terms of the evaluation, in terms of contributing ideas, and you're going to continue to be very, very important as we go forward, as we're both monitoring all of the work that's going to happen over the next few years, but also, as you say, in terms of bringing the expertise that sits inside the university to bear upon HeadStart more widely. Very exciting, and thanks very much again.
Thank you, Richard.
Great to speak to you.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.